Interview on today's Rolanda with a woman suspected of killing her own boyfriend. Now, details are still sketchy in this case, but what we do know so far is that last summer, Nancy Gilmore got into an argument with her boyfriend at a motel in Anaheim, California. Well, during the course of that argument, some shots rang out. And when the smoke had cleared, Nancy was shot in the head, a bullet lodged in her brain, and her boyfriend, shot in the chest, lay dead. Many people, including the Anaheim police and the family of the dead boyfriend, suspect and accuse Nancy Gilmore of firing that fatal shot. Nancy claims her boyfriend was trying to kill her and then turned the gun on himself. We're going to talk to both families in this story who have very, very different accounts. But first, let's talk to Nancy, the woman suspected of the murder. She's joined by her mother, Betty, who claims that her daughter is innocent. Betty, this has got to be one of the toughest situations a mother could go through.
Rolanda, is the worst experience I've ever had in my life. They have sniped my life. I don't have one anymore. I have to deal with her.
Your daughter had a bullet lodged in her brain for 2 days. She could not have lived through this, and it seems, but she is here. How have you been affected since then, Nancy?
It's affected me up real bad. It's affected a whole lot.
There's some people, like the police, who suspect that you were the one who pulled the trigger and killed your boyfriend.
It's not true.
What happened?
We did laundry, and we were just back in the room, and he got a phone call, hung up the phone. Once he hung up that phone, he just started telling me that he was gonna kill me, and I didn't know what had happened to me. I thought he had hit me with something at first. And then I ran out the room trying to get myself some help. I ran to the security guard and my neighbors in the room, asking them to take somebody to help me because I was gonna die.
I remember the accounts. They said that you ran out of the motel room and you had blood all over you.
Yes.
And that you told the security guard you'd been hit in the head with a bottle.
Yes, I didn't know I was shot then.
You didn't know you were shot?
No.
How did the bullet end up in Richard's chest that killed him?
Well, he shot himself. I was standing with the security guard, and the both of us heard him shoot himself.
You were out of the room?
Yes.
So why is it that the police suspect Nancy?
They rushed to judgment. They rushed to judgment because of the area, because of what went on in that area, the motel. You know, the different kind of people they had in there. You know, Nancy, because she was caught up in that type of situation, it didn't mean that she had to be like the rest of them. The police just passed judgment on my child. You know, gonna have a paramedic come and sit her on a curve, put a butterfly stitch over my baby's bullet in her head. A paramedic should know a laceration from a gunshot wound. Okay, and we're having blood gushing from her head. They're gonna handcuff her, put her in the back of a police car.
And I understand it was 36 hours before she was actually treated for that bullet in her brain.
Yes.
Is Nancy different than she was before that gunshot?
Mercy, yes.
In what way?
How can I say it?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
My baby depends on me for everything. I gotta do it all for her.
I understand that they did the operation, and when they took the bullet out, they had to take part of her brain out, too.
They had to take part of the brain. It was damaged so bad. There is no excuse for another human being to treat another human being as the police department did Nancy. Nancy was incapacitated, incoherent. I'm a nurse, and I would know the difference. If I stepped up to this child, being a paramedic or just a nurse, I would know the difference in treating a laceration or a bullet. If it's a laceration, you have to know there is a concussion right there. It's got to be. And a bullet going in?
And in addition to that, they suspect that she's the one who pulled that trigger that killed Richard.
They placed her under arrest, put handcuffs on her. She's in the back of the police car. Not taken to a hospital. When the paramedics were there, why not take her to the hospital?
Now, Richard's family,
Please.
well, they're saying that Nancy was responsible for that murder. They're calling her murderous. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Richard's family. Richard's family is still grieving, of course, over the loss of their brother and still very angry because they say that Nancy is the one who's guilty. We're going to talk with them. They did not want to be on the stage. They are backstage in our green room, and there they are joining us. I'm going to talk with them. We're also going to continue talking with Nancy, a woman who says, "I did not murder my boyfriend." We'll be right back in a minute.